Welcome back to the Birdcage. I'm Jack Kenna, joined alongside Alex King. We've taken a few days off. The Creighton Bluejays got embarrassed at home against in-state rival Nebraska on Friday. We didn't record Saturday, Sunday. This is now Monday. The Creighton Bluejays are traveling to Vegas to play in the Players Era Festival against some really good competition without Stephen Ashworth, who got injured in the remaining few minutes of that Nebraska game. Alex, give us your initial thoughts about the game on Friday.
Yeah, I could sit here and say a lot of mean things for a long time, but mainly Kalkbrenner was the worst thing I'd ever seen. But I don't know if it's really his fault, but like you can't think yourself to be a National Player of the Year contender and put up 4 points and not even make a field goal. Um, Ashworth getting hurt's a big deal because we don't really have anybody else that can dribble the ball. Um, I mean, yeah, there really wasn't a big bright spot. I don't have a lot of positive things to say. It was a terrible game. We couldn't play offense. We couldn't really play defense. We let a dude named um Jawan Gary, Bryce Williams, and Connor Essegian. We let Connor Essegian ball us up. It was absurd.
Yeah, we
He got,
let
he got these red ass cheeks and he balled us up.
we let a Wisconsin bench warmer piece us apart for 40 minutes. We let Sam Hoiberg, who wouldn't touch the floor in a Creighton jersey, dominate us on the defensive end of the floor. They played three centers because they don't have one capable center to guard Kolkbrenner. So they just meshed together three big bodies to go hammer Kolkbrenner around for 40 minutes, and it worked. Offensively, those centers did nothing, but defensively, Kolkbrenner couldn't do anything. So I guess
Mhm.
their plan worked. I respect Nebraska because they have continued to do the exact same thing the past 3, 4 years, which is just make Creighton shoot. If they're going to beat us, they're going to beat us from behind the arc. Let me tell you, Alex, they're 2 for 3 in the past 3 years of that of that game plan.
Yeah, this is
Last year
kind
we
of
blitzed them at their place because what we made shots, and when we don't make shots, this is what happens. We get embarrassed by Nebraska.
well, they've now won their last two at CHI, which I think we've had this over them for forever that we've like beat them all the time, but now they're two for their last three. They beat us at home twice in a row, and it's a hard pill to swallow. And they didn't even we shot a better percentage from three than them. So that just means they dominated us inside, which literally doesn't make sense because we have the three-time Big East Defensive Player of the Year. He just
Kolkbrenner looked off. Did he
he
not?
didn't he didn't do anything. No,
He he
he did
looked
not look good.
off. Like defensively, he fouled a few times that I was like, Holkbrenner doesn't foul usually
There's
there.
also some terrible foul calls, but yes, he did have a couple uncharacteristic fouls.
Yeah, the reffing is a different issue. I feel like Nebraska won a lot of the 50-50 balls in return. When you kind of do that, you kind of get the whistle more likely than not when you're first to the ball. But I agree. I think there were some very questionable foul calls. I feel like
Yeah.
Ryan Kolkbrenner
I mean,
was uncharacteristically bad.
yeah.
And that's funny because Ryan Kolkbrenner is like, I would consider him actually a big game player. In some of
Hmm.
those bigger games, he's actually shown that he can play basketball at a high level and be one of our best players. But you're right, like against UConn, I remember he shows up in like all of the home UConn games, but in like the away UConn games, he's always kind of absent. Nebraska, 2 of the 3 years, he's been absent.
Mm.
Um, I'm just trying to think of some other games where Ryan Kolkbrenner's just been not there really.
Yeah.
But the one I can remember was Nebraska 2 years ago when he was getting dominated inside. And he
Yeah.
wasn't getting dominated inside today, but it was like,
He just didn't do anything.
you know how we funnel the Kolkbrenner? I felt like
Yeah.
he was like a step too late, a second too late on like everything.
Yeah.
Um, and then Ashworth getting hurt is literally salted. Like they put salt in the wound right there. Like we are
Yeah.
gonna lose the game,
I don't
and
know why Ashworth
now we
was
lose Stephen
flopping.
Ashworth.
I don't know why Ashworth was flopping on that three, but I mean, yes, it's very unfortunate he rolled his ankle. He'll probably be out like at least a month, I'd say, with a high ankle sprain, which is a
Yeah,
huge loss considering we have our hardest stretch of our schedule upcoming.
yeah.
I It's looking grim.
it's looking it's not looking very exciting for Creighton basketball fans, that's for sure. We I feel like we can't really cover Nebraska a whole bunch today. We could be here for an hour.
Yeah. But I
Um,
think before we move on, like overall, I think this is like the most disgusting Creighton game I've watched since like I'd say like the Georgetown Big East championship game
seriously?
or like the UNLV game last year was pretty bad.
I think Colorado State last year.
Yeah, but like we laid some eggs, but this one was like we
Does that
had
not
how
scare
many,
you, Alex?
yes it does, but
That the
how
past
many
2 years
turnovers?
we have had some really, really, really bad non-conference games.
And this was pretty bad.
And it feels like in conference play, Creighton never has these games in conference play.
No. We
Sometimes
had
we get outplayed,
yeah.
but like I don't think we've ever had a game like this in non-conference or
Yeah, well
in Big East play.
we had 17 turnovers. 17. That is a
You're not
lot.
gonna turn you're not gonna win, and that's funny because we talked about this. We talked about like we're winning games, but we're turning the ball over 11, 12 times a game against UTRGV or Fairleigh Dickinson.
So
You
it's
can't
obviously
do
a
that against competent basketball teams.
yeah.
All week, McDermott and even Jason Green, he got interviewed in the media availability, was like, their defense is good. Like we can't turn the ball over. And we did a lot.
Yeah.
And like we got two or three shot clock violations.
Yeah. Bad
Like,
shot. Like
like,
just
come on. It was the game was disgusting.
overall didn't seem ready to play. It was just
I don't know
gross.
how you're not waking up excited to play for a rivalry game.
Hmm.
Like Marcus Zagorowski, Tyshawn Alexander, Doug McDermott, Maurice Watson, like Kyrie Thomas, those guys would not have lost on Friday.
No. Yeah. This team's like Baylor Sherman. Like this team's just missing
No,
a leader that's like I mean Kalkbrenner's probably that guy, but he just came out so flat.
I don't know. Like we could go down a list of Creighton players the past 10, 15 years. All of those guys cared about this game. And
Hmm.
kind of watching that, like I don't know if Pop Isaacs understood how much this game meant to the like Nebraska. Like I'm Isaac Trout knows how much it means to Nebraska. He didn't have his best game. Like
No.
he understands. He's from here. But like kind of those newer guys, like did Jemiah Neal understand how much this meant to Nebraska? Did they care enough?
Hmm.
Um, I'm sure they love Creighton. I'm sure they love basketball, but it's like this game is like a game
Yeah.
that you have to wake up for. If like you don't wake up for a game the entire year, this has got to be a game you wake up for. And we
Yeah.
started slow again.
Yeah. It was
Um,
ugly. If it came away with one positive thing, I think Jackson McAndrew was pretty good. He was kind of chucking threes, but he made a couple big ones. He got some rebounds.
I think
Uh,
he starts on
yeah,
tomorrow.
I think so too.
I think he does. I think he's been Creighton, other than Kolkbrenner, been Creighton's most effective front court player. I think Isaac Trout can shoot the ball. He can. He
Yeah.
hasn't been the past few games. He's really hit or miss right now so far to start the season. But
Yeah.
I know he can shoot.
Well, here's
Mason Miller has an excuse to like be missing shots right now.
yeah, but that's his one job.
But
Like
his one job is to make shots, and if he can't make them, you got to find someone else who can. Jason Green really's been ineffective defensively. He's just letting people go right past him. Can't really
overall,
play defense, and offensively, he contributes really nothing. All
Mason
that
Miller
much.
has 0 points on the. He has zero threes. That's literally his job on like
Yeah.
on the whole year.
What's Jason Green's shot from the field?
Oh, let me pull it up.
Because I'm just
He's at
very curious, how many shots has he taken this year?
he's at 25% from field goal percentage and 3-point percentage.
What? Has he
He just
taken like four shots?
he's shooting 25%. I can't I'm not smart enough to find the actual shots. Oh wait, I found it. So he was 0 for 4 against KC, 1 for 2 against Houston Christian, 0 for 1 against FDU, and 1 for 1 against RGV. So he's only taken 8 shots and he's made two.
We need contribution from him on the offensive end.
Yeah.
Because right now, defensively, he's not playing good defensively to play.
Mm-mm.
And the only four who is really playing good basketball right now are Jackson McAndrew and Isaac Trout. And Isaac Trout, Doesn't need to step it up. We've seen him progress a little bit. Last year he was strictly catch and shoot. Strictly catch and shoot. An occasional Isaac Trout dunk when he was in there.
Yeah.
But this year we've seen him kind of put the ball on the ground a little bit, but we still need him to be consistent from behind the arc.
Yeah, we just need
That's just
somebody.
what we haven't seen yet. But he can make it. He can make it. He's shown us this year he can.
Mhm.
But you just have to make it at a higher clip. And then really it's realistically Jackson McAndrew's been our best player, so I bet he starts tomorrow,
Yeah,
especially with Ashworth out. This is a good transition because we can talk about what Ashworth's injury and his status means to Creighton in this tournament. This is the toughest schedule we have
this
had.
might be our toughest schedule ever. Like I know last year was
That's what I was saying. Like,
2 years
I don't think
ago.
we've ever had a schedule this tough.
Well, 2 years ago we went to Maui and then we played at Texas. But I mean, this year we're playing in the next few games. We're playing San Diego State, Texas A&M, number one Kansas, and then number eight
Bama.
Alabama, who's playing like a top five team. Like,
Alabama is a top five team. Like their preseason too. They had a loss against Purdue.
yeah,
Sure, you lose to Purdue at Mackey and you're gonna get dropped 6 spots in the rankings. Okay. Okay, NCAA top 25 little poll guys, but
do
it's crazy. The schedule we have is insane. Knowing that we're not gonna have Ashworth for it makes it a lot tougher.
you think we start Ty Davis? Like, can we
No.
start? So then we have Pop running the one, and then
It's
we
Pop.
start.
I think it's gonna be Pop. It's gonna be Neal. It's going to be McAndrew. It's going to be Trout. It's going to be Kalkbrenner. And if that's not it, I would expect Jason Green to come in for Trout. And then you run
I don't know
Jason
if you
Green
can
at the
start.
three.
I don't know if you can start Trout and McAndrew.
But I don't know who else we start.
Yeah, it's
Like,
looking great.
that's what I'm saying. This team is constructed poorly. As
Yeah,
much as I kind of gave it credit, our starting five was really good, and we had a lot of pieces off the bench. We have no guard depth,
no
and
guard depth.
we lost our best guard. And I'm
Yeah,
sorry, but Ty Davis is not ready to step up into a starting spot.
no,
He's not. We're not throwing him in the fire against San Diego State. We're not doing that. So I
yeah,
think if you're not going to start McAndrew and Trout, it's got to be Pop, Neal, Jason Green, McAndrew, and
oh,
Colkbrenner.
yeah,
But then I come across Jason Green hasn't done anything kind of this year to make me think he deserves that starting spot. At least Trout's had games where he's hit three threes. He's had good games.
yeah.
Like that's where my head's at. Like this team, like we have a lot of fours. We don't have a lot of guards and a lot of wings.
Yeah. I think the
So
upside for
I don't
sure
know.
to this, you can find an upside to this injury, you'll get some Ty Davis development, and you'll have to have guys that are playing at a higher level. So I guess we'll just see
Yeah.
who develops.
I guess we'll really see what Colk's made out of too.
Yeah, I just he went 4 for 8 from the free throw line. Like I know he wasn't getting opportunities, but he didn't even make his free throws. Like that's just such a bad sign.
I don't know. The whole Colt game, usually I'm like you're not gonna be very effective if you can't like how our high school coach would always be yelling at our big guys to do their stuff early. Like you run the floor, seal,
Yeah,
get there early. That's what Kalkbrenner needed to do because Greg McDermott told them. He said they're not going to let Kalkbrenner dominate inside. If he wants to score this game, he's going to have to create his stuff early, and
yeah.
he really didn't do that.
They're
And
also like
on the
triple
times where
teaming.
he did on the times he did do that, where he created his offense early, the guards were unable to get him the ball.
Yeah,
That doesn't show you that he wasn't able to create offense though. Every time he got in there, he got fouled.
he
Like
drew what?
there were genuine opportunities where Kalkbrenner had the ball down low and was hacked.
I'm pretty sure I heard Greg McDermott say he drew 10 fouls, which is insane.
So that's 10 times. But again, those big men were fouling him like crazy. It's just they none of them were talented, none of them were skilled. So they just kept
Mhm.
they just kept switching them in and out because it meant nothing to them.
Yeah,
Their literal goal was to go in there, guard Kalkbrenner as best as you can, If he gets the ball, foul him. We'll sub you out, get a new guy in there to do the same shit.
Yeah, they didn't care.
No. And it's smart. Like to Hoiberg's credit, I'll tip my hat to him. Like that's smart. But now I just don't know what we do. Like, is this going to be a game plan where every team kind of does it? Because we've shown that we're kind of
Yeah, I'm kind of worried that Nebraska
vulnerable
showed.
to it. I don't
I'm kind of
know.
worried Nebraska showed the blueprint of how to defend us, and then
But they
I
did
think,
this against Purdue last year too.
yeah,
Like we're not the only team that they've done this to. It's scary that our guys continue to not really show up to games where it's like a rivalry game. But like I can understand it worked. What they did worked. I get it. I just wish it didn't happen. Because I
yeah,
hate losing to Nebraska.
yeah. Obviously, I don't think it's gonna. It's probably as bad as it looks, but
No.
it's definitely worrying.
Nebraska will also I've been a big advocate of Nebraska's not going to be very good this year. However, I'm going to have to recant that statement, not because they beat Creighton, but because of how bad I think the Big Ten is.
Yeah,
Nebraska's still going to be a game that's not going to show up as like our one of our big losses. Does that make sense?
yeah,
Like come tournament time, people aren't going to look at the Nebraska game and be like, "Ooh, you guys lost to Nebraska." It's
yeah.
just going to be like, "Oh, they lost to Nebraska." Like Nebraska's like mediocre Big Ten, but it's a rivalry game.
I
I
feel like
think I
Nebraska.
think that loss is going to be a little more acceptable come
I feel like
March.
Nebraska's good enough defensively to do pretty decent in the Big Ten, but they're just not very good offensively.
That's what I'm saying. I think defensively that can get them middle of the Big Ten, and then Bryce Williams is right now just playing out of his mind. If a Siegen keeps playing like this, then I think Nebraska has a real shot to be top half of the Big Ten, maybe 6, 7, 5. So I think the
Agree.
Big Ten's pretty stinky this year too. So I think
Yeah,
that works in our favor because I think that can make Nebraska look a lot better. I don't
yeah.
think they're a tournament team though.
Probably not, but maybe. I don't know.
I
They
don't
could
know.
sneak in.
The NCAA or college basketball is crazy like that. When we look at Creighton's schedule, San Diego State tomorrow, Texas A&M Wednesday, and then we play on Saturday in a
It'll
game
probably be
that's to
against
be
like
decided.
it'll be against like Houston or
It
Oregon
would be
or
against well, it would be against the other side of the bracket.
so I think one of
So
those teams is
you keep
Houston.
you talk about the first two games while I kind of pull this up.
Yeah, well, San Diego State first. They're sitting at they've only played 3 games. They're 2-1. They lost to Gonzaga in a 13-point game. Um,
Have they
on
only played three games?
yeah, they're 2-1. They've only played three. They played UCSD and OCCID. They haven't played anybody except for Gonzaga, which
Are
I
you
guess is a good
serious?
sign.
Yeah, I
But
guess that's a good sign. I mean, we lost to Nebraska, but at least they like we've played somebody. I guess
yeah,
they played Gonzaga too, but
yeah. I mean, yeah, that was their last game, but that was over a week ago. Like they have played no games. But as far as San Diego State goes, that's kind of turned into a little rivalry. We played them in the NCAA tournament twice. We won in the first round. They won in the Elite Eight.
I
We played,
genuinely hate San Diego State.
yeah, me too.
Creighton Blue Jays would have made the national championship that year.
Yeah, they're my number
Um,
one worst. Like that's my worst experience watching a game. I can never watch that highlight. Like I may be able to watch a lot of highlights of bad games, but I can never watch those highlights of that game ever. I don't think
if you really want me to crash out, just show me a picture of the foul and I will crash out.
of the foul.
Of
Yes.
the foul. No,
Yeah.
first of all, it's not a foul. We've talked
Yeah.
about this before. It's not a foul. They didn't call it all game. Don't call it now.
Yeah, you could
Don't be a
call
hero, ref.
you could call that foul on almost every play probably. But I'm not going to get into it because I'm going to get angry.
I'm gonna
But
get angry too. God, I
anyways,
hate San Diego
they've
State.
turned in they've turned into a bit of rivalry. We played them in Las Vegas, I think in like 2021 maybe. Or no, it was the year Zagorowski. It was the COVID year, so it was 2019. And I was at that game and
2020?
we lost by 50. And they had like Malachi Flynn and they absolutely obliterated us.
Okay, yeah.
So this has turned into a bit of a rivalry. They obviously have great defense, hold their opponents to like no points. So I feel like this is a bad matchup for the
Yeah.
Jays.
This is gonna be like we might score 40 points.
Yeah.
Before we move on, let's talk about how this works. So there's two different groups, the power group and the impact group. The impact group consists of Houston, Alabama, Rutgers, Notre Dame. The power group consists of Creighton, San Diego State, Oregon, Texas A&M. So how this group works is it's not even a round robin. You just play two of the three teams, and then it goes into like a bracket. So like then it's like championship. And so if you win your group, you go to the championship. Let me spoil it for all you guys. I might be the biggest Creighton fan ever, and they're not gonna win probably a game. I don't think they beat Texas A&M. I don't
Although
think they beat San
our
Diego
group is
State.
a lot easier than the other group.
Yeah, but like even our matchup wise, like I just genuinely don't know if we win a game.
So question, what happens if we get matched up with Alabama? Do they make us play them? Because we play them again in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, you have to. I think it would
That
just be good preparation for playing
ever
them
happened?
again
Has that ever
without,
even happened before where two teams play twice in 2 weeks in the regular season? That
I
seems
don't,
weird.
in non-conference play. I don't know.
Yeah, that doesn't make
Um,
sense.
but what happens is the first number one seed in the impact group will play number one seed in the power group. Number two seed play number two.
Yeah.
Number three play number three. Um, so we'll kind of give our predictions real quick for Creighton and how you think they do. And if we want, we can even talk about the other side of the bracket. It really scares me. I need to stop saying so much. I noticed that when I'm talking and I'm trying to like transition to stuff, I just throw that word in.
Yeah, if you're gonna be like a professional at this, you probably shouldn't say so much.
Yeah, it's not a good word. It's literally a filler word, and it's a bad filler word.
Yeah.
But the Creighton Blue Jays play at 2 o'clock, I guess 1 o'clock our time tomorrow. We have the second game. Nope, first game. We have the very first game. So, what do you think happens tomorrow afternoon? I was going to say tomorrow night. Tomorrow afternoon against San Diego State.
I don't know. It's looking grim. I think we lose to San Diego State, but I think we beat A&M. Um, I think we have to win one game, right? Like I think at Vegas in our last 4 years, have we won a game? I don't know. I think we're like 1-5. I think we beat somebody last year or 2 years ago, but our record in Vegas is so bad. And I think we finally get a win, but honestly, it's looking grim. I wouldn't be surprised if we lost both games. I would be very surprised if we won both games. But my prediction would be a loss tomorrow to San Diego State and then a win against
Where do you
Texas
think that
A&M.
where do you think that puts us?
I
Second
think
or
we
third?
I think I think second, and I think we'd play.
On because it goes by record and then it goes by point differential. So
Okay, I
I,
think we
I'm
play third.
assuming I'm assuming our point differential against San Diego State will be close just because of how much of a defensive match it will be. Except we can't defend anybody.
Yeah,
This game could be we could score 20 points and they could
and they
score
could score like
70.
40 or like 50. It'd
Oh
be
my
like 50 to
God.
20. It
This
might be
team has a
good.
lot more question marks than I thought they did.
Yeah, I just now that we don't have Ashford, I really don't know what we're gonna look like.
This
So I
is
think
not, by the way, this is not a Coors. This is
Diet Sam's Cola.
off-brand diet soda.
Why?
I don't know. I've been drinking, well, they're cheaper than Pepsi Zero.
The Pepsi Zero's finally caught up to you.
No, it's just like, I don't know. I need to save money, I guess. Christmas season's around the corner. I need to buy presents. So I'm cutting
Well,
back
anyways,
Pepsi Zero.
I think we go 1-1 and get third, and then I think we play like Rutgers, which I'd be okay with because Rutgers just lost to like somebody terrible.
They're beating us. Rutgers is going to beat us with Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper. They're
Dude,
just going to run pick and roll lobs.
Rutgers lost to Kennesaw State yesterday.
Oh, did they?
Yes.
Okay, maybe we can get them then.
But also I think they still absolutely ball on us.
Yeah, they could.
My formal prediction is we go 1-2.
1 and 2, we'd play in the third place game and lose to Rutgers.
That's what
Rutgers has the potential to actually be a bad loss on our
yeah,
record.
I agree.
I think that Notre Dame loses the impact group.
Yeah, Notre Dame stinks.
I think if we go 0-2, we'll play Notre Dame and get a free win.
Yeah.
Even though I really like Notre Dame, I think they have a lot of stuff brewing up there in South Bend. I think Coach Shrewsbury is a really good coach. I think they actually have some players on that team who can play basketball. They just don't have enough of them.
Well, they lost to Elon. So
I think Braden Shrewsbury is Micah Shrewsbury's son. I think he's actually pretty
I think
good.
so.
They have a guard. Notre Dame has a guard on their team who's pretty good. They just signed a 5-star and like 2 4 stars. So I think the next coming years for Notre Dame will be pretty good.
Not this year though.
Not this year. No, you're right. It's not this year. Um, see, fucking, I did it again. I need to stop.
I just really hope we don't play Houston because Houston will obliterate us.
Yeah, we're not gonna play Houston. I
I
don't
guess it would
think we're
also
gonna beat
be,
San Diego State. I really just don't see a world where we beat Texas A&M.
although I kind of do hope we play Houston because I think it would be good for us. But
I think if Creighton played, oh my gosh, almost did again. If we had Ashworth, the Creighton Bluejays, I think go 2-0 in the power group, and then we'll get smoked in the impact group by either Alabama or Houston. I just don't know if I think we can get a game without Ashworth.
yeah, I just hope we don't play Alabama because we play them again in 2 weeks. I'd rather play somebody else.
I don't want to
Good.
play Bama. If we play Bama, it's not going to be very fun.
No.
I think Creighton goes 0-2. I think they do. I think San Diego State goes 1-1. I think Texas A&M goes 1-1. I think Creighton goes 0-2. I think Oregon goes 1-1.
Well, that doesn't add up. Somebody has to go 2-0.
Does somebody have to go to? Is my math that bad?
It has to add up to four and
Okay,
four or
so
3.
Let me go with my predictions. I think San Diego State beats Creighton. I think San Diego State loses to Oregon. Okay, Oregon goes 2-0.
Oh, I
Oh,
don't
but
like
Oregon's
that.
not good.
Oregon stinks.
Oregon's not good.
No.
Okay,
You got
Texas A&M goes 2-0. Oregon goes 1-1. Nope, because I think Oregon's bad.
I do too.
Like our
It's
side is
very,
so much easier than the
it's
other
possible.
side,
It's
and
possible that Oregon
Creighton's
and
not
Creighton could
good.
go. Oregon and Creighton could go 0-2.
Is
And
that what happens? Does Oregon and Creighton go 0-2?
I don't think A&M and San Diego State play each other.
No, they
So
don't. I'm
so
looking
they
at it
could
right now.
so they could both go 2-0.
Okay, so San Diego State and Texas A&M go 2-0, and Texas A&M because they have Wade Taylor advances on point differential. Um, dang it! I really need to cut off the filler words.
Yeah, I know. You really
So
do.
so A&M is gonna get the 1 seed. San Diego State gets the 2. Creighton's gonna get the 3. Then
Yeah. Because
I
Oregon
think,
stinks.
and Oregon's gonna get the 4 because of how stinky this is. I think we play Rutgers. If for some reason an Alabama or a Houston gets upset and it is the 3 seed, I'm gonna crash out.
Yeah,
If we go, then we're going 0-3.
if we go 2-0 and then play like an Alabama or Houston, then that would be really sad. Because then
I wouldn't because then at least we'd have 2 more wins.
We'd leave Vegas with a 4-4 record, if so.
If we go, yeah, if we go 0-3, I would be really upset with the thing. But that's also because we don't go 0-3 without the Ashworth injury. I don't care how they guard us. We took like 43s
42,
against Nebraska and took 10 shots inside the arc.
which is like the worst basketball ever.
That's terrible. It's always been inside out, not outside, never go inside.
Yeah.
But I don't make the rules, Alex. You have the Jays getting the 3 seed. I have the Jays getting the 3 seed. You have them winning a game. I have them going 0-2. But Oregon's stinky. I just don't
But,
know if we can get the 4.
but we
As
don't get
much
to
as I
play.
want to get the 4 to get a free Notre Dame win, I don't even know if we could do that. And Notre Dame might not even be a free win for us.
Yeah, it's looking very grim. I don't really know what to think about
The
us, to be honest.
future of Creighton basketball is questionable. Okay, the future's not.
But
And
like the
this
thing is,
next month could be questionable.
2 years ago we started 6-6 and then made the Elite Eight. Like there's a lot of time left in the season.
A lot of things can happen. You just don't know how stuff's going to work out. Maybe Ashworth recovers faster. My
And
thing is when you have an ankle sprain, I had a high ankle sprain. I'm not going to say it was nearly as bad as Ashworth's because I just don't know to the extent Ashworth has his. But I like gave myself a week. I don't know why. I should have been done probably a month.
Yeah.
I tried to come back and then I got COVID, so I really couldn't. So I was like 2 weeks out, and then I tried to come back and I still couldn't run on it. I was useless. I never played the rest of the season.
I remember you rolled your ankle like every practice. It was,
Yeah, I had to leave practice because I kept re-aggravating it.
yeah.
And like I couldn't play the rest of the season. Like I literally sat on the bench. I went from like actually getting 6 man minutes to like not playing the rest of the year. That was
Yeah.
that was kind of depressing. And we lost in the state championship.
But
And
they'll definitely handle this injury a lot better than our team did.
I really hope we can give Ashworth enough time to recover and be at his best. Because if he comes back and we have like a 75% Ashworth, do you think it's like what do you think our season
Well, I
ceiling?
think it's 75% Ashford's that better than anything else we have. I
Well,
think
that's
it
true.
I think okay. I think Ashford will be back and he'll be fine. But I think if we don't get Fedor, I think this team is like a round one exit or a round two blowout. But if we get him, like I think that would be a lot, very helpful. But I don't think we're gonna get him.
I think we do. I just think I don't know. Everything I heard pointed me to the idea that we were going to get him before Nebraska, and the NCAA hates us, I guess.
Yes.
So we'll see. Did it again. But that's all I have. I don't think we burned Larry Johnson's red shirt, sadly,
Yeah,
even though I
no,
want to see his cool dunks.
I think that's a bad idea. Although I don't know.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
we'll
I'm
see.
really
We'll see
confused,
when it
Alex.
happens. Me too.
I'm really gonna need to see a game without Ashworth before we can come back. And I
I
know
think
you're
about this team
gone.
so differently than I did at the start of the year because I just don't know anything. I thought we were going to be good at shooting, but Jemiah Neal can't shoot, and Trout has been inconsistent. Mason Miller sucks at shooting. Green can't shoot.
Pop Isaacs is inconsistent.
He's a shot checker. Like I don't know. I think I think bad things.
I don't know. We're gonna have to see a full game before we can come back. I know you're gonna be gone, so I might have to be doing those by myself.
Yeah,
But we will I'm sure we'll be texting for sure
yeah,
throughout
we
those
will.
games. What
We
time's your
will
flight tomorrow? I know you're going to the Vegas games.
fly out at like 4.
AM?
No, no, PM. I have class, unfortunately.
So you're gonna miss the Creighton San Diego State game.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get there like right as tip off of the KU Duke game, so I'm not gonna be able to go to that one either.
Yeah.
But I'll be at the next game.
All righty. Well, we will definitely be in contact because this is going to be probably a
Interesting.
very sad Creighton Thanksgiving if we're just going to look ahead here. Also, a 2 day break that just allows players to just hang out in Vegas for two
Pretty
days
dangerous.
with no games sounds outrageously terrible.
Yeah,
That sounds like a horrible idea.
I think we could have a couple guys that get in trouble, but I don't. I
I don't
think
think Creighton will have guys that get in trouble.
yeah,
I
but a
could see
couple other teams
Alabama
or like
or
A&M,
Texas A&M teams that like I don't know. Why
they'll
did
get
I just
down.
pick the two SEC schools? Just say they're going to get in trouble. Maybe it's because like Georgia football.
They could go get down and dirty in Vegas.
I don't know. I think maybe even Saturday hangover games could be pretty funny.
They're
Some of the guys just super hungover playing basketball, and they're like, I don't. They're playing in their fourth place Impact Power
like,
game,
I don't give a shit
and they're
about this
like, I
game.
don't care.
Yeah,
It's Notre Dame Creighton for who gets seventh place, and you're just like,
yeah, yeah.
what?
I'm chilling.
Ryan Kalkbrenner comes back and he's just super hungover. He plays
His
hungover.
eyes are just red.
Yeah. All
I don't know.
righty.
We'll see how it
We will
goes.
be in contact for sure. Thank you for coming on the podcast to
Of course,
sadly
always glad to
talk
do it.
Creighton hoops. We will be back in the coming days to give you a recap of Creighton San Diego State. In the meantime, check out the other videos on the channel. Make sure you follow Alex on social media, and we will see you later.